It is Saturday, August 24th, 2024, approximately 7:46 a.m. sharp. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am one of the lovely hostess, the Garlic Johnson. We are joined, as always, by our other lovely hostess, the Joshua Mitchell. Josh, say hi to the folks out there.
Hi, folks.
We appreciate people who chatted us in our Discord. We appreciate people who do other stuff. I don't know. I don't have the note sheet in front of me right now. Whatever. It's podcast 2. We are closer to a more normal entrance than we were last time, getting closer to the football season. But it is 7:45 in the morning, and I cannot be bothered to care enough right now. But Josh, how are we doing? We talked last Wednesday, I believe. It's been about 10 days or so. Anything exciting or cool in your life in the past 10 days, sir?
Not that I remember.
What do you remember?
I went to work yesterday.
How is that, buddy?
Well, you know, it's work. I was in the office, one of the only ones kind of in the office in my little row. Everybody else decided to take the day off, but I was counselor of the day, so I had a very important role of making sure I was there in case S hit the fan, and it didn't. So I basically just sat there, and I like to stick it to the man. When I am that counselor of the day, we were told early on in this process to not schedule anything in case something does happen. So I just sat there all day.
You were the most available counselor of the day they've ever had.
Right. Yep. I was so available. I stood out in the front door, and when people walked by, I go, "Do you need any help?"
Do you find that's an effective customer service method?
Well, I just assumed that everybody needed exercise because everybody started running.
So you're helping them with their fitness goals. I believe you're more of a vocational counselor, but it's really can be an all-stop shop.
Well, yeah. I mean, wouldn't you consider personal well-being a job?
No. Do I get paid for it?
No, but do you get paid for this?
This is a job?
Yeah, that's what Asher told me. He said I was going to work.
Excellent. All right. That's exciting, though. All right. So that's what's happened the past 10 days. Nothing too exciting for me that I can think of. Oh, my God.
I didn't ask.
Okay, all right, we'll move on.
How's the last 10 days been?
No, Josh,
you have to wait for me to ask.
No,
that's how conversations work.
No. We're not doing this now. You already ruined it.
Well, then I ask? Since I'll ask a new question. Do you have something going on today before the draft? Because I had initially said 8, and you came back with 7:45.
Yeah, I got a lot of warrant to do on one of my favorite mobile games, Josh, Last War Survival. Our capital's getting invaded this morning by another server, and I got to go defend the capital, So I gotta make sure I'm ready.
I actually played that game for a while. I realized that as I was helping you out at softball that one night, I was like, hey, I actually logged on to this game at one point in my life.
Oh, really? Did you like it?
Yeah, but with ADHD, it's one of those things where, attention lasts for as long as the progress is being made. And so when you get to that stale point in some games where you have to actually wait to progress, it didn't go so hot.
Okay. Well, so at least you recognize the game. But yeah, no, the game's actually fun. I've been in Alliance now. I would dare almost say I've made friends in this game. But yeah, I don't know.
Kind of like me with Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, how long did you pay? All right, we're just gonna have a conversation now. How long did you play Galaxy Quest? Because I gave you crap about that for a long time.
I think it was like 2.5 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, dude. All right, so I've got another 2 years and 4 months. Approximately. We'll say 2 years and 3 months. I think I'm coming up on my 3-month mark.
Yep, and those people actually still chat in Discord every once in a while. They'll post something out there and go, "What's everybody doing?" I'll usually just go, "Shut up."
Yeah, dude. All right. But yeah, no, so the capital's getting invaded this morning, so I gotta go port my base into the mud and defend from server 581 because those bastards are trying to take us down in server 588, and we won't allow it. But anyways, Josh, let's move on. Let's talk about the NFC because I do want to stay on track here. We talked about all 16 AFC teams last week. And now we're here to talk about the NFC. Okay, do you think you're ready?
Yeah.
What's half of 272? We've already talked about how many games. I can't do that math in my head because I'm not smart enough. Equals 272 divided by
136.
Yep. All right. So we're here to talk about the other 136 remaining games of the NFL regular season. Josh, starting with the Arizona Cardinals, going in alphabetical order of the NFC. What do you think about our boys in red this season?
Trash.
Go on.
Well, I have them as 5-12. They are last year they were 24th in points for. Granted, Kyler only played half this season or so. They're 31st in points against. So their defense is a struggle bus. Their offense is a struggle bus. They did draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride did step up in the second half of the season, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to carry their defense. I don't know. Maybe if Gannon decides to pew 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 a little bit more, then maybe. But 5-12 is what I have them at.
Oh my gosh, are you actively dying on the podcast? We might get a lot of listens if that happens.
Nikita might have poisoned me, so I couldn't draft well tonight.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, we do have our draft later today. We didn't even mention that yet. All right. But you do not have a lot of faith in the Cardinals. Makes sense based on what they did last year. For some reason, Josh, when I was guessing out 272 games, I gave the Cardinals a lot of wins. I was like, you know what? I think the Cardinals just have, even their coach, literally my note says, even though the coach is a doofus, it feels like they have too much talent. With Kyler, and they just got Marvin Harrison, and they just got they got Trey Benson, and I want to believe in the potential of this team, and so I gave them 12-5. Josh, a lot of people might think I'm crazy, and I would respect people that call me crazy, but I have them going 12-5. You have them going 5-12. Our power rank here might be the biggest of all 32 teams. I have them power rank 8. You have them power rank 24. That's the difference of 16 ranks. We'll see. We're polar opposites. Moving on to the Atlanta Falcons, Josh, the now Kirk Cousin-led Falcons. I gave them 12-5 as well. Obviously, I think the team will start slow. I don't think there's an exact date for Kirk Cousins to come back or an exact estimate yet. So I think the team will start slow, but then I think they'll get pretty hot once Kirk Cousins is back. I think, he's going to play with something to prove. I think that new coaching staff is going to want to make a name for themselves as well. So I like the Falcons this year. I think they had a lot of offensive talent beforehand, and they just needed, what was his name? Desmond Ridder? I forget who the old quarterback was. Yeah. They just needed someone that wasn't him to be quarterback, and so I think that is a playoff team this year. I have them power rank 7. What do you think about the Falcons, Josh?
I have them going 10-7. Last year, their points for was 26th in the league, and their points against was 18th, so middle of the pack. Their offense should definitely improve with a new offensive game plan with Cork at the helm. But they have a new regime, same talent plus Cork overall, and so I have them at 10.7. I will say that for the experts pick, if you remember from the previous podcast, for those person that listened, it was like a 300 or 100 some page document that somebody decided to put together where they broke down every team using algorithms and mathematics. They have 9.2 wins for the Atlanta Falcons and only 5.5 for Arizona. So we'll go back a little bit, but power rank overall, I have them at 12. So I believe we're pretty close on that. A couple wins off overall, but I do think that they are going to be kind of the favorites in the NFC South.
They have to be. They have to be, right? No way Derek Carr has some sort of resurgence or Baker Mayfield rips off 13 wins.
Yep. Moving on to the best team in the NFL, we have the Carolina Panthers. Last year, they were 31st in points for and 29th in points against. So their defense was better than their offense. I have them going 3-14. So not good. Bryce Young is a great quarterback, just not an NFL quarterback. So he might be our 2028 Olympic quarterback, huh? So yeah, I have them doing bad. Gar, how do you have the Carolina Panthers doing?
I also have the Carolina Panthers being an absolute trash heap this year. Just another organization that doesn't seem to be able to get out of its own way. I have the Carolina Panthers going 1-16. We both have them power rank 30. I don't know. I just don't. Bryce Young seems like he could be a decent NFL quarterback. It just seems like they are just not doing right by him. And most of the talent on that team is gone that I can recall. So it is what it is. Moving on to the Chicago Bears, Josh, the number 1 overall pick with Caleb Williams. Chicago Bears, I have them going 3-14. I do think their future is brighter. It depends on the rookie quarterbacks for this year. I'm not really giving it to Chicago. I could see them going up to 7 wins, but as I was going through the schedule, just picking week by week, I could not justify giving them too many more wins. So I have them going 3-14. Josh, what do you think about the Bears?
Well, last year they were 18th in points for and 20th in points against. Their defense, or I have them going 10-7, so I'm a little bit more positive on them than you. Defense had 20 takeaways in the last 7 games last year, so their defense stepped up. And then with consistent QB play, consistent, not necessarily dominant, they should be over 500 with that, in my opinion. I'm trying to remember what their record was last year. It's the same as the Vikings. How'd the Vikings finish?
Trash. No, just kidding. I don't remember, genuinely.
I think they were 7-9 or 7-10. I don't know. 8-9, I don't know, something like that. So they did have more. They did have a decent amount of wins. The expert says 9.1 on them, and for whatever reason, we didn't say it for the Carolina Panthers, I don't think, but the experts have them winning 7.5 games. So I think he's from Carolina.
That's.
But yeah, so they're my power rank. Yeah, they're my power rank 13. So yeah, that's our second biggest discrepancy in the NFC, and so that is 13 off, whereas. Yeah. The rest of them are going to be pretty close, though, it looks like. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. I have them going 12-5. Last year, they were first in points for and 5th in points against. All of my predictions are based on whether or not CeeDee Lamb is actually going to play. Without Lamb, that wide receiver core is pretty abysmal, so I would say they'd go 8-9. But overall, I do think that he does play, and I do think 12-5 is a respectable record.
Yeah, we've the Dallas Cowboys, Josh, I don't know if you've learned this or if you've just accepted it, but every year I feel like you want to dog them a little bit in this exercise, and I think by now you've come to realize they can be quite a dominant regular season team. They'll have a fluke win here or there, like a really fluky, they get dominated. Jesus Christ. I should have woken up slightly more before doing this podcast, but they'll get dominated randomly, a couple times throughout the year. But overall, for the past, we've been doing this 7 years. The Dallas Cowboys are a dominant regular season team. And, so 12-5 I think is fair. I have them going 11-6. I'm right behind you. They just can't get anything done once they get into the playoffs. So I think again Dallas will go on to be a very good regular season team, and I think they're a playoff team. They have been for most of the years we've done this. So, Josh, does it hurt your soul to admit that, or are you finally done with your old ways? I think I've asked you this the past 4 years now, but.
I think what has happened is I really don't watch Dallas unless they are playing the Packers, and whenever they play the Packers, they are just a giant steaming Asher diaper. So that's where my bias comes from. But I guess that maybe that means I've learned. Maybe it means that I've always known, but just kind of giggled internally because I know they're trash when they play the team that's green.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, 12 wins. Expert Man has 11.2, so kind of split the difference there on us.
Nice. All right, we will move on, Josh, to the Detroit Lions. I am still riding high on their bandwagon, although some people are saying last year was all the magic, and this year all the magic will be gone. Only time will tell for that, though. I have them going 11-6, though. I think Dan Campbell knows what he's doing, and I think there's still some magic left in the tank. I have them power rank 10. I have them making the playoffs. Josh, what do you think about Dan Campbell and crew?
Well, man,
listen up, man. 12. I got a speech for you, man.
I have them going 12-5. Last year they were 5th in points for, 23rd in points against. Their offense has shown up. Defense needs to hold down the fort, and they'd be solid. So yeah, I mean, I believe I have them winning or second in the division based on kind of how things shake up with tiebreakers. But their offense has shown to be solid. Jahmyr Gibbs has, another year under his belt, and he had kind of finished strong last season. David Montgomery had a solid season. Sam Laporta. So yeah, I mean, there's Amon Ra. It's not crazy to think that they have kind of a top 5 offense this year again. Expert Man had 10.6 wins. They were my power rank 9, so we were within 1 on that one. And so yeah, moving on to the team that we all love. Some of us love them to love them. Some of us love them to hate them, or love to hate them. The Green Bay Packers, I have them going 12-5. Last year, they were points for 1. 12th. Points against 10th. So, they had points against, they were 10th, but their defense was still trash. So the points against, this is where I realized that the points against thing might not have been the best determination of how solid the defense is. But my only note on here was insert paranoid Vikings fan breathing. Because if the Packers finish 12-5, make the playoffs again, and Jordan Love shows any sort of improvement or consistency from how we finished the season last year, that is going to be a lot of salty Minnesotans.
Yeah, and of course, my note is literally written in all caps, Josh, because I think I wrote my note before yours, so, we inspired each other. But I said, I swear to God, if Jordan Love is another generational QB, this has been the conversation for a couple years now, so I'm not saying anything new necessarily, but just, Jordan Love did show a lot of promise last year, and God fucking damn it, man. Can you Packers just go away for a little bit? Just a little bit. A couple years, just go away, fade into obscurity. Why are you doing this to us?
Well, man, because we can. Experts are a little bit lean or a little bit low on them. They said 8.8 wins. So, how expert are we really talking?
Yeah, I gave
actually
the Packers,
that question.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't even know you weren't finished. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I gave the Packers 11-6.
Okay, yeah, and I had them power rank 10. It looks like you have them 11, so within 1 on that. Yeah, I lost all respect for the expert rankings when they had Carolina with 7.5 wins.
Oh no! Did it hurt your fifis?
No, it just means that the 30 seconds of research I put into it could have been done doing other things.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Green Bay season. Granted, if Jordan Love regresses even slightly, it's probably going to be, I'm going to try and blow up the team from week 1 on. But yeah.
All right, and then we will move on to talk about the Los Angeles Rams, Josh, a team that, I don't know, I'm probably giving them too many wins when I have them going 10-7. The expert, I think, who was it, Mike Clay, has them just getting 8 wins. But McVay, with his little schemey schemes, he always seems to find a way, always seems to keep a team in the fight. Out of nowhere, Puka Nacua burst onto the scene recently, right? They got an exciting new running back. I can't think of their name right now, and I'm not going to sit here and and ha about it.
Corum?
Yeah. They always seem to find a way. Maybe I think Stafford is pretty toasted, right? But I think this might be his. This has to be his swan song, right? Like Stafford's already played a couple more years, I think, than people thought. But I have them going 10-7, Josh. I don't know. What do you think about them Rams out in Los Angeles?
I have them going 9-8. Last year they were 8th in points for. Obviously, Puka and Kyron being solid were helpful in that. They didn't have Kupp, and then points against they were 19th. So, and then they lost Darnold. So their defense is kind of going to be the big question mark. Puka and Kyron, they could have been a fluke. Rookies, not a lot of tape. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. But if they're solid, and then with that addition of that Blake Corum to kind of spell Kyron every once in a while, Kupp being back, hopefully healthy, they could be a top 2 offense. The defense is a big question mark. So I have them 9-8. I had them power rank 16, so another one that we were within 1 on as far as overall power rankings. And so, yeah. Moving on to the team that we all hate because one of us is rivals with them or somewhat rivals. The other one is forced to be a fan of them. The Minnesota Vikings. I have them going solid 4-13. Not necessarily out of spite, but just because of the injury to the rookie quarterback that looked solid in preseason for the little bit that we did see him. Last year, they were 22nd in point four. Obviously, Cork being out doesn't help that number. Points against, they were 13th, blitz happy. But they did have a lot of struggles on the corners, and their corners seem to get hurt every time they touch grass. And so they go from Cork to Darnold, and their defense might improve, but I only have them going 4-13. Gar?
Yeah, I gave them a couple more wins than you. I have the Vikings going 6-11. The expert Mike Clay gave them almost 7 wins, but we have them both power rank in the lower half of the league. You have them 27. I have them 24. I just would like to forget about the season. I do think Darnold could come, just not because of Darnold's talent necessarily, but because of Kevin O'Connell's sure determination to not tank, and because B-Flow already also has a determination to not tank, and because we just signed, not that he's in his prime anymore, we just signed Stephen Gilmore. It's a big name without probably the big talent anymore, but this team is not tanking, despite what a lot of people would like us to do. J.J. McCarthy wasn't going to see the field much, if at all, this year anyway, so nothing really should change, but I gave them 6-11. I think I tried to split the division games, and I think I even didn't do that perfectly, but we beat up on a couple small teams. That's it. I wish we would lose more games, but it is what it is. I do not have the faith in the Darnold to do anything long term. He's just here for a quick little stay. He has a max contract of $10 million or whatever it is, so I just, for a fantasy purpose, I just hope JJ Jettas gets his stats. I hope Hawkinson comes back and is perfectly healthy. And I just want this team to stay healthy this year. That's all I really care about. I don't care about how many wins or losses we have in whatever column. I just want the team to stay healthy. And I want us, if we were going to win a couple games this year, I'd like us to win the games in the back half of the year so we go into next year with some forward momentum and feel good about it. But this is a lost year for the Vikings, and it was always going to be a transition year, but that doesn't mean it's any more easier to swallow when we're finally on it, right? Moving on, Josh, to the New Orleans Saints, the Derek Carr-led New Orleans Saints. I have them going 8-9. I think they're a middle-of-the-road team. I think that division, as we talked about earlier, is going to be sewn up by the Atlanta Falcons. It has to be. But their defense is usually pretty good, right? You're going to tell us about it in just a second. So, 8-9 isn't that crazy. The ball bounces their ways a couple way. Maybe they're a wild card team. I don't think it is, but I have them power ranked 23. What do you think about them Saints, Josh?
I have them going 5-12. I guess they were top 10 in both points for and points against. They were 9th and 8th respectively. I did not know that this team was 9-8 last year. That was my note. Did you know that they were 9-8? The expert has them going 8.8 wins. But I just was going through it, and similar to you with Arizona, you thought that they were going to win a lot. I thought New Orleans was going to lose a lot. So they're in a, I think 2 of their wins were clearly Carolina. But overall, I don't know if Derek Carr's got it. And Kamara's getting up there in age. And so they just, we'll see. I had them power ranked 25. So even though a couple wins off, we still had pretty close to the bottom third of the league there.
Yeah.
Moving on to the New York not so giant Dayballs. I have them going 4-13. Points for 30th last year, and points against, they're 26th. Eli Light's quarterback play gave Dayball cancer, which is why he lost all that weight. And so I don't see anything positive with this team. They got rid of their best player to their division rival. They have a solid wide receiver who's going to want out after 2 years. And in Malik Neighbors, Darren Waller got a divorce because of the Giants. It's just a disaster show over there, it seems. And so, I have them going 4-13.
Gotcha, Josh. I was such a believer in this team last year, and what transpired was so disappointing for me. And I don't know what to believe anymore, fully, wholly, truly. I have them going 6-11. I don't know. something seemed right, and maybe I was just bought too much into a couple good games from Danny Dashes, but I just thought this team was going to do so much more. And they sure didn't, and I don't really believe in them much anymore, which makes me sad to say, because I thought Dayball was going to be a good coach. I thought Danny Dashes was going to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe now that I'm a skeptic again, they'll do good again, because I just, I can't be right about things, but it is what it is. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, Josh, staying in the same division, that NFC East. I have them going 12-5. I think the Eagles have a bit of a chip. I think they're a team that's determined to prove that they were not a fluke. They had that really good year, and then they weren't bad at all last year, but certainly they didn't look as good as a couple years ago. And so I think they're just out here determined to be like, you know what, guys? It was not a fluke. I can't. Sirianni, is there a coach named Sirianni? Am I thinking of the right guy?
Yeah.
He can be a bit of a goofball as well. But yeah, I think this is a team with a lot of talent. I think Jalen Hurts especially is probably really determined to put a really good product on the field this year. So I think this team could be 12-5. I have them power rank 4, and I like what they can do. They got Saquon Barkley as well now, so you know what? Better than fucking whoever they were trying out last year. I can't even think of it. So Josh, what do you think about them?
DeAndre Swift?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's better than him, but DeAndre had a decent season. I have the Philadelphia Eagles going 14-3. Last year, they were 7th in points for and 30th in points against. So their defense is their biggest question mark. I believe that is still kind of the case. But they did draft 2 cornerbacks. One of them is white, so say what you will about that, but we'll see. So I had them, like I said, 14-3. Expert Man had 9.6. They're my power rank 3 team. I mean, I had them going 9-8, but then I read that Big Dom's back on the sidelines for the season, so then I had to give them 5 more wins. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. I have them going 4-13. So not a good season, but it is more of a rebuild without Gum Chomper. Last year, they were 17th in points for and 25th in points against. Geno did kind of regress a little bit last season. He was apparently writing back to all those people and forgetting how to play football. Rebuilding, assessing things for stuff in the future. Just kind of, like I said, yeah, new coach, kind of figuring that thing out.
All right, Josh. I just don't know what to do. But yeah, now that Pete Carroll's gone, I still gave them 8 wins. I don't know that it's fair. I don't know that that's right, but I did it. I just
Expert Man says 8.4.
Right. I just literally, my note just says, how quickly can they become a post-Carroll powerhouse? And you have less faith in them than I do. It's just so unknown. It was just, this team has been Carroll for so long. I literally didn't know what to do, or what to think, or what to assume, because the entire time we've done this podcast, this has been a Pete Carroll team. So it's just crazy to feel about. I mean, obviously it's happened with the Patriots and some other teams as well, but it's just like, it just feels so unknown. I don't know. I gave them 8 wins. We both have them a bottom of half league team, so it is what it is. Moving on, Josh, to the San Francisco 49ers, one of the premier teams of the NFC year in and year out, thanks to the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan. I have them going 13-4. I have them power rank 2. I have them the best team in the NFC. They're only behind the Kansas City Chiefs in my overall 32 team power rankings. Mike Clay has them getting 12 wins. I mean, how much more do we need to say? This is going to be one of the top teams, unless there's a bunch of fluke injuries or a bunch of fluke things that cost games where balls bounce the wrong way. Kyle Shanahan is a very good coach, and there's a lot of talent on this roster. Josh, I assume you agree with me.
Yeah, last year they were 3rd in points for, 3rd in points against, so they're a top-tier team, destined to lose in the Super Bowl. They're my power rank 4 just because they are closer to the end of the alphabet when I sort by wins. I have them going 14-3. Just because I like all the things you said, solid team all around. If they can stay healthy, which I hope I hope they do. I mean, bringing Ayuk back is definitely going to help. It sounds like they drafted a guy who's going to be done with his career already with Ricky Pearsall, just based on his shoulder injuries and the history behind that. But that's unfortunate. But so if they bring Ayuk back, it's gonna just kind of add to their talent. But yeah, top tier team destined to lose in the Super Bowl, as I said.
Gotcha.
Moving on to the Tampa Bays. I have them going 5-12, so regressing from last year. Last year they didn't have the best offense performance. I think it was up and down with Baker. They were 20th in points for and 7th in points against, so their defense is what carried them. But I see this as one of the teams that are falling out of the playoffs after making it last season. Expert Man has them winning 7.6. I do love Baker, though, so I would be happy if they made the playoffs again. But Gar,
I love
How do
Baker. I love Baker. I love this team. I love what they did last year. Obviously, the defense was better than the offense, but I have them going 10-7. Josh, I think if any team, I know I'm gonna sound crazy, and I think maybe it might just be every year I look for an underdog team to be like, all right, this is my team this year. And, I think that happened previously with the Lions and other teams until they finally, became what they've become. But I like the situation down in Tampa, and I don't know. I have them going 10-7. I'll just spit it out. And I like Rachaad White, and I like obviously Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are good players, and their defense is really solid. And I don't know, Josh. I think if any team's going to give the Falcons a run for their money, it's going to be these guys. So I have them power rank 18. I do believe I have them on the outside of the playoffs, so I don't have them as a playoff team despite getting 10 wins. But I really like Tampa Bay, and I don't care who knows it. We'll see. I know you would not be upset if Baker went on to have success. You just don't believe in the roster. So I think you'd be fine if they went on to win a bunch of games. Moving on to the last team in the NFC, Josh, the last team for our 272, the Washington. Are they still the Washington Commanders? Yeah, they haven't changed anything yet. As far as I checked, they'll probably do that again with new ownership. But I have them going 3-14. Jaden Daniels is an exciting player, and I think that's another one of those things. It's like give him a year, but not this year. I have them power ranked 27. Josh, what about you? What do you think about the brand new Commanders?
Last year they were 25th in points for, 32nd in points against. I had them going 1-16. I had them power rank 32. Someone's got to be last in the league, and I feel like this is the team. Jaden Daniels. Granted, I made these predictions before his preseason kind of took off, and where it sounds like he's actually going to be somebody that's going to contribute right away. I just don't have any faith in the team because I don't even know what kind of improvements they made, and so. It's just going to be one of those things. Like I said, someone's got to be last, and it's going to be them or Carolina.
Someone does have to be last.
Yep. Expert Man has 5.7 wins, so I don't know, man, what kind of algorithm this guy's got. But yeah, so that is what I think.
All right, Josh. Well, that is a podcast. Did you go through the effort of picking out your playoff teams and estimating who might be this and that? And we can talk about that real quick, and then we can go.
Gard, I'll give you one guess. What do you think?
Well, Josh.
Based on history.
Josh, it's always possible that there's a year where you surprise me. But I will talk about mine real quick if you want to really flukily put yours together. Otherwise, I won't judge you. And once I'm done talking about my playoff teams, we can be done. So Josh, for the AFC, I have Kansas City, Baltimore, Houston, the Jets, the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Browns. Those are my 7 playoff teams for the AFC, and my 7 playoff teams for the NFC. I have Frisco, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Detroit as the division winners, and then Arizona, Green Bay, and Dallas as the wild cards. And I was mostly joking when I said this, but wouldn't it be so cool? I have a Houston-Detroit Super Bowl, and I have Houston winning it just for the funsies of it. Last year, I got only 6 of the 14 teams right, so I'm not saying I'm anywhere close to right. But yeah, Kansas City, Baltimore, Houston, Jets as the division winners, and then San Fran, Philly, Atlanta, Detroit as the division winners as well. If you had to just pick, instead of going through, trying to pick out 14 teams, since I probably didn't give you enough time for that, just pick your Super Bowl, your Super Bowl matchup and the winner, Josh.
Well, in an odd turn of events, Roger Goodell opens the Super Bowl to teams from each conference to increase betting odds. So I have Kansas City and the New York Jets playing in the Alamo Bowl. I mean, it's hard to go against San Fran. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Super Bowl is going to be New York Jets versus Green Bay Packers.
You're a heathen. Do you how deep do you think Houston will go this year? I know you're a big believer in CJ Stroud like I am.
I think that they'll
Like
make
most people
conference
are.
championship. I think that they
Okay.
haven't. But I mean, the AFC is just so stacked at the top that it is hard to say. They could very well, get trounced in the wild card round, depending on how things shake out. That's why we love football, baby.
Any given Sunday, Josh. That's what they say. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to the 272. Josh and I, as we mentioned earlier, we do have our Hidden Oaks Redraft League draft today, our league of record. We don't have a sticker person as of right now. Maybe Elena can do it if she comes in town with Jesse. I don't know. Otherwise, I might have to dust off my sticker shoes, Josh, and I'll be the sticker person myself. But down to 12 teams, but we didn't change the rosters at all, so it's gonna feel a lot different because there's going to be a new influx of free agents. So I hope all the hammers and the people who've been crying for years and years don't complain because we just added 14 times. We just added 28 new players to the free agency pool essentially. So it'll be an exciting draft.
You mean to tell
Josh.
me I might be able to get CeeDee Lamb as a free agent?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But yeah, we have our draft later today, and then we will be back probably next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll try my best to get back on a regular podcast schedule. We'll do some draft grades for the crew. Maybe get some other people involved to grade as well, but I don't know that I'll be motivated to put that together. But thank you everyone so much for listening, and we will talk to you soon. Football season is dangerously close, Josh, and I still don't feel like I'm ready. How about you?
Nope.
All right, we will see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye, friends. Go Packers.